Hey, what's going on, everybody? Jason Scully here from the Grappler's Guide. In this video, you're going to see a lot of different ways to get the Kimura as a submission. Now, you can use the Kimura for many different things: submissions, sweeps, takedowns, so on and so forth. Also, I'm having a contest. On the bottom of this page, there's rules on the contest I'm having and what it's about. I'm giving away one of my invisible grappling DVD sets. It's 7 DVDs and over 10.5 hours of concepts and little details that a lot of people miss. Now, if we hit over 100 entries, then I'm going to give away 2 sets and not just 1. So look below this video on this page so you can see the rules. Follow all the rules. It's very, very simple. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain in regards to having a chance to win some prizes. I've given away tons of prizes before, and if you are not on the page right now, if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link right below this video here. Go on the page where this YouTube video is and then click on that link, so in that way you can get taken to the page where the rules are and how you can enter the contest. Alright, so hopefully you enjoy this video. It helps you with your Kimura, and then if you join the contest, you're going to see how you can improve your Kimura even more. My friend David Avalon is really sick at the Kimura, and he's going to help you out too as well.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jason Scully here from the Grappler's Guide. I'm here with my student Spats. Thanks, Spats. Spats is going to help me out with this video today. What I'm going to talk about in this video is a part 2 of just Kimura concepts. With this one, I'm going to talk about submissions with the Kimura. Now, I'm not going to get in straight detail for each particular submission, and there's probably going to be even more submissions that I can talk about. But the idea is just to give you that, to give you ideas. So in that way, you can start brainstorming and figuring out particular attacks that you can work on when it comes to doing the Kimura. If you did not watch the first part of this video, which talks about seeing the Kimura and setting it up, watch that video first, because if you cannot set the Kimura up and you cannot find it, you're not going to have an opportunity to do any of these things. So I recommend that you find that video in the Grappler's Guide, so then that way you can increase your chances of actually getting the Kimura on somebody. Talk about some little concepts that can really help you out. So basically, we're going to talk about submissions. So I'm here like this. Person's in my guard. This is the #1 thing that people think about when it comes to Kimuras. And I think at the higher level, this actually becomes a little lower percentage, the basic Kimura from the guard. People hit Kimuras more off of scrambles, off of situations where the person isn't ready, because they see that trigger that I talked about in the first video, which is elbows out. Here, okay? So I'm here like this. If Mike has his elbows in, once I get his elbows out, like this, then I can start attacking for the Kimura. Now, once I come back here and I'm going for the Kimura from the back, I want to make sure, just a quick thing, is I want to make sure he doesn't tuck his hand inside this way, or he doesn't tuck his hand inside this way. If he does any of those things, he starts making my lift a little bit harder. I always want to block his hand with my leg. So when he goes to tuck his hand inside, it's going to be harder. The next thing is I want to make sure his hand is closer to his body here. If it's further away, it's going to be harder for me to do the Kimura as well. So I want to tuck his hand a little closer. Then I start working my body up, and then I work the finish. Another key thing, and I'll talk about this in another video, is I keep my foot lower by his hip. I don't bring it up by his back. If I bring it up by his back, it's easier for him to roll, and I don't want him to roll. If I keep it down by his hip, it actually makes it harder for him to roll. So keep the hand close to the body, block his hand with your thigh so he can't tuck, look over your shoulder, and then you finish the submission from there. Other ways you can finish the submission is, let's say we're here like this, and we're inside butterfly guard, and I'm like a Kamura fanatic. This is just what I like to do. Not me, but I'm saying hypothetically. I have a particular student who does Kimuras in my gym. He actually has a nickname. We call him Special K, just for the fact that he likes to do Kimuras. And he hits them from everywhere. But he sees that cue, which is elbows out. Okay, so he sees the elbows out. Now from here, I can start attacking. Slipping through, boom, I come across. Now I can start working for my submissions. Now the key for me to hit this is I need to make sure I get my hip out. I'm popping my hip out. So that way I can finish this here and work to finish from there. If I get my left leg hooked inside, it's going to help me keep him in place a little bit more. So when he goes to roll, it should be a little bit harder for him to roll on me, and then I can finish this submission here. Other thing I like about Kimuras is it sets up wrist locks. a lot as well. So if you're not somebody who does wrist locks, possibly start looking for wrist locks when it comes to the Kimura there too. Another thing that you can do is he's on the bottom here, like this. I'm just looking for elbows out. Once again, his elbows are in. I'm moving. If I see his elbow out, that's a cue. His elbow came out right away. I come over. Now I want to make sure I do not turn this way. If I turn this way, I'm exposing my back. So I immediately need to shoot my hip back in this direction, and I'm actually going to come on my back here. Then I come through. I bring my legs up here, and then I start working the submission. If I want to make sure he doesn't roll, then I'll switch my legs here, keeping the hand closer to his body so it's harder for him to finish. I also have omoplatas that I can work from here as well. If he does roll, then it turns into a sweep. That's how the Kimura turns into a sweep a lot. We're going to talk about that in another video. Another concept is, let's say he has me in half guard. Here, like this. Switch sides actually. He has me in half guard, like this. I'm moving. I'm on my side. Don't ever be flat. If you're flat on your back here, you're not getting anything, okay? There's no Kimuras happening. You want to be on your side, blocking your head, like this. Concept. If his elbow's in, I see nothing. If his elbow comes out, trigger. Now I can start coming over. The key to finishing this is I need to get my hip out once again. If I keep my hips facing this way, it's going to be harder for me to finish this, and I have less control. What I want to do is I want to pull my bottom leg out and get my knee out. So now I can start working my position. Lots of times you're going to end up sweeping the person because they're going to turn over. So he rolls through like this, and then I get on top. Now I have my leg over his head, and then I can finish the submission from there. You can also hit that from side control too. I recommend side control is like a last ditch effort type of deal if you see it during a scramble. Another situation that happens is we're here like this, he's on his knees here. Let's say he puts his left hand on my knee here and he starts coming around this way. He starts coming around to work a pass. I can come through and I can start working Kimuras this way. I don't even just Kimura him, I can switch to arm bars as well. But if I keep moving, then I can work attacks. Right there I ended up in an arm bar. But it also depends on how your movement is as well. The key thing as well when you're going to finish the Kimura is you want to keep your elbows tight. So when I am here and I have this, we'll do it from half guard. I have this Kimura position. I don't want my elbows out. I want my elbows in. Here, his elbow's tight to my body. I'm pulling his arm tight to my body, and then it's easier for me to finish the position. Make sure my elbows are tight, okay? I also like to curl my wrists as well. I'll talk about that in a future video. I might have a micro grappling video talking about wrist curling. If I don't, I will have one soon. And last thing, let's talk about the top position. Here, we're in side control here. Here I have trouble. If he goes to get his arm under and block here, but his elbow's out now. His elbow is now out. Now I can attack. Anytime the elbow goes away from the body, it's a trigger for me to hit the Kimura, and then I can switch, step over, elbows tight, keep the arm close, and then I can finish from there. You can also hit that from half guard as well. So that was, 6 or 7 different things that I just showed you really quick. I'm going to break down each individual technique eventually on the Grappler's Guide. We're going to talk about some small details that can help you finish that. But the goal for this video is to give you some quick ideas so you can brainstorm and also work on your own attacks as well. All right?